What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Faraday Future, ticker is FFIE. I want to give you a good breakdown of the latest updates, more specifically what came out from their launch event, and just what the data points are all truly saying. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right down to it. So currently down 8%. It did have a low of 21.4 cents, a little bit more on the negative side there. And as you can see based on the fib levels, so 17 cents. So currently it is right between the pivot and R1. So 22.45, that's the next big support for Faraday, and 27 cents is the next big resistance. But generally speaking, even though it did pull back from around the 30-cent range from yesterday, because unfortunately of the launch event, it's still kind of doing fairly okay. And just to put that in perspective, it's trading between the P and the R1, like I said, and a lot of other growth stocks, because of recent events and so forth, are trading between the S1 and the pivot. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but if you want to put it in that comparison, it's kind of doing okay. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. When it came down to the recent, obviously, FOMO leading into the launch event, this is where it kind of caused Stochastic to go a little bit more overbought. And so it's all over the place. It's a very volatile stock, to say the least. I think we already know that generally, but even though it is pulling back a little bit, it still does have a nice bullish sentiment behind the scenes momentum. Number of retail investors are getting out, but like I said, you can clearly see that there was some FOMO aspect leading into their launch event. And as you can see, they did update their website. So this is the PR that did come out for yesterday. So it does have the FF91, the AI hypercar, which again, I think they are going to be changing their name instead of FFIE to FFAI. So to kind of incorporate the whole AI aspect. But the price point is $309,000. So a little bit high, especially given the nature of the economy right now. I don't feel that this is definitely what needs to be done. But it does say right here, it looks like Faraday Future's mobile ecosystem product, FFAI Hypercar Plus, will be available for an annual subscription price of $14,900 in both the US and China. And so again, it's one of those things that, yeah, in theory, this is a very good looking vehicle, very good stats, but given the nature of it, like for instance, in case you guys do not know, I also cover Lucid on my other channel, Financial Journey, and they are struggling pretty significantly. And their price point, even though they do have very good product and good technology, similar to Faraday, is just one of those things, the demand is not there. Just unfortunately, Lucid itself hasn't really acknowledged that yet. So especially Faraday, given that they actually do need money in the short term, definitely is not the right thing. So this is why it's kind of pulling back a little bit. So generally speaking though, on a side note, because of this amazing technology, even though the price point is fairly high, it could be a potential takeover. And I think this is a very realistic thing that could be coming down the pipeline, because for instance, Faraday only has a $291.15 million market cap. So very appealing to a lot of companies, because when it comes down to companies, they don't want the legwork. They don't want to develop prototypes. They don't want to actually undergo the crash test results, which they did already state that in the PR as well, but they don't want to do that. Faraday already has a lot of that. So in reality, I know a lot of investors might be at a significant loss at these prices, but it might be a takeover potentially. So that's just something to keep in mind. But other than what recently came out, there was no other SEC filings, no press releases, nothing along those lines. So again, we're kind of just taking that and also the whole debt ceiling into consideration, and it's just following the technicals. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts. I'll give you guys a quick overview of the other data points, including what shorts are doing and the options activity and so forth. The market's been open around an hour and a half, and currently there's $14.7 thousand in call premiums and only $143 in put premiums. So clearly a lot of people are anticipating upside from these prices. So again, that could be a good thing, bad thing. I'll leave it up to you guys to make that determination based on the options. So this is all the expiry dates, the strike prices. Because of Faraday's price, options activity is kind of slow. And what I mean by that is the closest strike price is 50 cents. So the closest strike price is 50 cents. So it's not really incentivizing for a lot of people to do options unless, for instance, you are a short, increasing a position and then obviously just hedging your position with options, buying a long-term call. So again, I think that is the case, which could be perceived as a good thing because technically it does show that shorts don't know when it will go up, but they're hedging. So again, that's just more of a side note, a typical strategy that shorts do. Short score is currently 78, utilization is at 100%. And as far as what shorts are doing this morning, like I said, hour and a half in the trading day, they're increasing 1.13 million shares, 19.15% of the free float is being shorted, and 179.14 million shares overall are being shorted. And cost to borrow average is 8.41%. And just to put it in perspective on what shorts have actually been doing over the last little bit, so you can kind of see this. This is a quick breakdown of the actual short interest. So they kind of picked it up coincidentally around the whole FOMO. So they did anticipate that it was going to go down most likely as a result of the launch event. And it does look like on the 31st compared to the 30th, they were reducing their position a little bit. So again, that's what's happening behind the scenes. As far as big money getting in, there's been no big transactions over $100,000 today, just 4 that was done yesterday. So 247, 247, 632, and 258. And based on the bid and the ask, you can tell what is and what isn't buys. So these top 3 are buys. This one was a sell, but still, regardless, for every time there is a buyer, there is a seller. So once again, you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So when it comes to it, I already talked on support resistance points that you need to watch for. Right now, we are just sitting tight for the phase 2. So for deliveries and so forth, and just production, more updates. So hopefully they do continue the momentum as far as updates and things like that. But generally, it is just now in the market's hands. So it is going to go up, down, sideways with the broader market. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Is there some aspect that you are looking forward to, at least in the short term, that you feel will help the stock price significantly? Because looking on the actual chart, it did reject and kind of bounce off of that 50-day moving average. So this is why it's kind of pulling back as well today. So it definitely does have a lot of good momentum. When Faraday goes up, it will go up very, very fast. But kind of stuck in limbo, like I said. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to take advantage of this Moomoo offer. They did extend it for a couple more days. Sign up for a free account. You get 1 free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So complete no-brainer. Take advantage of that. And with that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Faraday Future.